Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Oncotelic Therapeutics channel, a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on oncology, immunotherapies, and CNS-related diseases, trading on the OTCQB under OTLC. This video is disseminated on behalf of Oncotelic Therapeutics, and we're privileged to be joined by Dr. Vong Trieu, the CEO. First and foremost, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, such a pleasure to get you on. And I just want to dive into this. What were Oncotelic's key kind of clinical milestones over the past year before we kind of get a look at what's going on moving forward?
For the past 1 year, we completed a phase one trial for combining OT101, our lead asset, which is a TGF-beta antisense. We're combining that with interleukin-2 in pancreatic cancer, and that's completed. At the same time, we have pushed our particle platform into the clinic. So we have approval to start the phase one trial for our SAPU003, which is injectable everolimus in Australia. And that's going to be expanding fairly rapidly into a global trial.
Yeah, what differentiates the particle platform from conventional drugs, looking at the delivery approaches?
Most people have been focusing on making stable nanoparticle that larger than 100 nanometer. I mean, I myself, we developed Abraxane, which is 120 nanometer, and then we went on to develop Symbolog, which is roughly 80 nanometer. Those are big nanoparticles that can't really exit the blood vessels, and there are a problem with how it get to the tumor. So that's why this third generation nanoparticle, I made it smaller than 20 nanometer to allow it to have now a more a molecular property. So it has both nanoparticle property as well as behaving like a molecule. So it can exit the blood vessel very quickly and get to the tumor, get to the target organ. And on top of that, it's stable, so you can target it. So it's a much more advanced version of anything that came before.
Yeah, I appreciate the insight on that. It's a bit technical. How does Oncotelic kind of communicate its scientific progress in the broader community?
Yeah, it's a fairly complicated issue to get it out there for people to understand what we're doing. So when we have enough data to assemble, we communicate that to the scientific community by publishing our data. We have over roughly 7 publications last year, spanning all the way from particle to biomarker and TGF-beta. So it's pretty much presented to the scientific community what we've been doing and communicating to scientists and clinicians what we're doing so to get them involved in our clinical program.
So, speaking to how, Oncotelic here approaches intellectual property alongside clinical development, do you want to kind of speak in tandem to those?
Right. IP patents really the lifeblood of biotech. We don't have anything unless we have patents. So alongside developing the clinical program, building the publication so that we communicate to our scientists and clinicians, we also building large amount of patents. Right now on the public facing, you can go to Whipple website and you'll see that we have 81 applications out there for the last couple of years, and there's many more behind that. So once we establish this wall of IP around our product, spanning from drug product to biomarker to method of use, uh, we are well protected and ready to license our technology.
So, I guess just kind of looking forward here as we wrap up, what can investors and stakeholders expect from Oncotelic in 2026, and what should we be paying attention to?
2026 is where you're actually going to see the visible part of our operation. Clinical going to move very quickly through our first patient in to completion of phase one to move on to phase three. Publication, we're going to have a lot of publication describing our assets. And then patent, you will see a lot of approved patents being issued to build a really solid foundation for the company.
On that, I appreciate you taking the time today. As we pass it off to the viewers, always, as news and catalysts come down the wire like this, of course, we'll bring it to you here. So consider subscribing. If you'd like to explore Oncotelic Therapeutics any further, we'll leave the links in the description as well. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.